Hello everybody, welcome back to Life Stories. My name is Trent and I hope you're all doing awesome as always. Hope you're staying safe and clean and hopefully entertained. And today I'll be helping you with that entertainment because we got more stories coming at you from Reddit/idontworkherelady. So, you know the drill, let's get started. Our first story is titled, Honorary Walmart Employee. This happened a couple of years ago, after Thanksgiving. I had taken my car to the auto section in Walmart to get the oil changed and a couple of other things checked, but the wait time was incredibly long. I didn't have anything to do except walk around Walmart for a couple of hours, so I eventually found myself walking around the game and toys section. My closest friends go to different colleges all over the United States, but we always meet up during Christmas and summer breaks to hang out and play board games. As I was looking for a new board game to try out that Christmas, I almost tripped over some toy a kid must have left lying on the ground. I'm the kind of person that hates putting random items on random shelves, so I looked for where the toy came from and replaced it. I then noticed a bunch of toys weren't in their correct sections, as in basically the entire toy section. So I started putting them where they belonged. It wasn't like I had anything else to do. Imagine my surprise when the employee in charge of the toy section walks into the aisle I'm in and asks if I'm new. I laugh and explain that I was just bored. The look on her face when she realizes I'm just doing this labor for free is priceless. We talk and eventually work through all the aisles, and I congratulate her on a job well done. She grins at me and walks back to the first aisle. Now I see why nothing is ever in their correct place in department stores. Some invisible gremlins have managed to destroy all of our hard work within the hour we spent cleaning the rest of the section. A look through the rest of the aisles reveals that they were all in some state of disarray, with a couple of kids playing in one of them. Yep, she tells me. I basically cycle through this one section because it's never fully tidied. I sympathize with her and get back to work. A few minutes later, a coworker comes to ask her if she could help them with something, and my new friend asks if she could leave for a couple of minutes to take care of it. I say, of course, and they leave. Though, the second worker gives me confused glances until they're out of sight. During this time, I help a parent decide on a tricycle for his son, and a little girl found the doll set she wanted to give to her friend. The tricycle dad even thanked me and any of my coworkers for working during the Christmas rush, as he's apparently been to several stores getting presents for his kids and his second grade class, and everyone has been quite helpful. When my coworker friend returned, my car was ready, and it was time for me to go. I passed on the thanks from the dad, and she laughed, finding it cute that he never realized I didn't work there. She dubbed me her honorary assistant, and I saw her a couple of more times that season. She doesn't work there anymore, but she added me on Snapchat, and we chat every once in a while. I wasn't sure if this counted since there's no Karen or anything, just wholesome confusion. Of course, I still return the items to their correct places in stores. These guys need all the help they can get. Starting off with a nice wholesome one, I'm here for it. Let's go. And without further ado, time to move on to probably more psycho Karens. And moving along, our next story is titled, Home Invasion. And don't worry, I've given it a read. It's not the kind of home invasion you're thinking of, thankfully. After posting a story a few days ago, I thought of another one. This one took place when I was 13. I grew up in France, and that's where I was living, on the first, US second, floor of a nice Haussmann building, a building from the mid to late 1800s, when a guy named Haussmann renovated Paris. One day, must have been on the weekend because I was home in the afternoon and not at school, the doorbell rings. I happen to be close, so I go and open the door. A woman is standing there. We'll call her Karen. Hello, I say, not recognizing her. She pushes me out of the way and walks in. I'm startled because I'm not used to strangers touching me, especially shoving me like that. But I figure she's a friend of my parents'. At the time, I'm a pretty awkward teenager and don't dare ask her any questions. She looks around, sees the couch we keep in the entrance for putting our shoes on or taking them off, and sits on it with a sigh. I go to get my dad, who was in the shower, but fortunately finishes up after hearing the doorbell. I knock on the bathroom door. He opens, mostly dressed except for his shirt and drying his hair. "Who is at the door?" he asks. "It's a woman. I don't know her," I explain. "She didn't say who she was and just walked in." I'm trying to be calm, but he can tell I'm shaken up. "She did what?" My dad is looking pretty annoyed at this point, and I realize he's not expecting any friend after all. He puts a shirt on and walks to the entrance, and I wait in the hallway out of sight. I'm too embarrassed to show my face again, but I want to know what's going on. Hello, what can I do for you? My dad says, polite, but definitely upset. Hi, I have an appointment, she answers. You have an appointment in my home that allows you to just walk in past my daughter without introducing yourself. He asks, his annoyance rising. I hear Karen huffing and gasping. Well, you shouldn't let your daughter answer the door then. I thought she was the receptionist. We don't have a receptionist in our home. Do you? Please go away. But I have an appointment. I don't know who you have an appointment with, but it's not us. Get out. There is a silence. Then, you mean this isn't the lawyers? My dad takes a deep breath. No, it isn't. You can tell because there's no plaque on the door, and the intercom downstairs clearly says they're on the floor above us, which I'm sure they also told you when they let you in the building. Now, get out. Then I hear the door open and close, and my dad walks back to me and pats me on the shoulder. Next time it's someone you don't recognize, tell them the lawyers are upstairs, he says, and I make sure I do. Over the next few years that I lived there, people kept ringing at our door, but fortunately, no one else ever forced their way in like this. At the time, I had no idea there was a lawyer's office above our place, so this was a really weird experience. As I said at the beginning, if there's any kind of home invasion you're gonna have to go through, this one's not so bad. Karen notwithstanding, of course, but hey, could have been way worse. And moving right along, our next story is titled, Karen at the Cinema. I worked at a small cinema that usually showed some alternative films. There were several other activities in the building, including choirs and theater groups, but I worked for the cinema and did not keep track of where or when the other activities were. At the cinema, we had a computer connected to the movie, ticket booking, and the cinema's email. This computer had settings so we who worked there couldn't be on whatever pages we wanted. This is important info. This time, I was working on a Wednesday for the first time and had no idea what was happening in the building, except what film I was going to show. While I was sitting at the computer, arranging small things, Karen comes up. Excuse me? Yes, what can I help you with? Do you know where the International Choir has its practice? Unfortunately, no. I only work for the cinema and have no knowledge over other activities. Oh, don't be silly. Look it up on the computer for me. I can't do that. The computer only works with programs we have for cinema and the bookings. So you can see all the bookings in the building? No, I can't. I can only see the cinema bookings. Are you too important to help me, or what? She says. Excuse me, but I don't know how I can help you. I don't know where the International Choir has its practice, when they start, or who's responsible for them. But I know we will be showing, movie title, tonight if you're interested. Karen storms off, and I remain slightly irritated. Visitors to the evening's movie come and pay for their tickets, enter the salon, and sit down. 5 minutes before I close the doors, Karen comes back. I couldn't find the choir, so I'll take the cinema instead. Sorry for not being able to help sooner, but it's fun that you want to see the movie. Then I explain that it's free placement in the salon and what the tickets cost, and that it's a discount if you're over 65. Do you think I'm old now too? She says. Me, surprised. No, this is information I provide to all customers. You still think you're too important for me, but I'll buy a ticket anyway. Okay, and I give her the ticket cost. Wasn't it cheaper? If you're over 65. I am over 65, she says. Then you'll get the discount. I write in the discount and print out her ticket and give it to her. She sneers and goes back to the salon. Time goes, and after I started the movie, I can start putting away the candy and warm my lunch. Then Karen comes out from the salon, looking at me. What? Do you get paid to eat? She says. When the movie's on, I can't do much else. The computer's locked. No more customers will come in, and I'll be here until the credits are done. So, yeah, I'm having my dinner now. Aha! The computer certainly works, she said. No, I can't prepare tomorrow's movies today. Because when the last movie of the day is started, the screen locks for security reasons. But can I help you with something? Because you're not in the salon watching your movie. I didn't like it, so I'll go now, and I'll tell your boss how unpleasant you've been with me tonight. She goes away, and I eat up my dinner before I email my boss and tell him what happened. My boss replies by reminding me that I cannot use the computer after the last movie goes, and asks if anything else happened during the evening. Not the best boss, I have more stories about him. I answer no, and the rest of the time I spend on YouTube on my private phone. You'd think that Karen would get the hint to ask maybe someone else. If this building's big enough to have this many activities, there's probably more employees than just you. Jeez. Anyway, with that out of the way, we are all out of time for today, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you so much for tuning in to Life Stories once again. My name is Trent. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content from Reddit that we got coming your way, and I hope to see you guys soon.